Thanks for stopping by the channel. This is my recap and review for Porsha Family Matters. This is, I think, this is season 1. I think it's episode 4. I'm hoping that it's episode 4, but big. Y'all, let's get into this recap. Okay, y'all, so it opens up with Eric with the small group of them doing yoga. It is Dennis, Lauren Lauren, and Dom. They're having a fun time doing, yoga. It looked funny. Dennis was funny, talking about Porsha being a lazy leg because she don't like doing it, getting back shots. Then we go downstairs and they're sitting down at the table and it's all of them and they're just talking. We end up finding out that Dom and Dennis got beef because supposedly Dom snitched on Dennis for rehiring a girl that he cheated on Porsha with while she was pregnant. So Dennis feels like Dom is the op, but I mean, like, if Dom is friends with Porsha, he would definitely be a huge op if he didn't tell Porsha that you rehired the girl that you cheated on her with while she was pregnant. So I don't fault Dom for telling on Dennis, because, like, why you rehire her? We end up finding out that Dennis said that Dennis said that he has 11 crew lounges, so he's like, he didn't even know the girl got rehired. And I could believe that if you have because he also said he had over 600 employees, you normally leave that information to the person that owns said store or is the manager or, district manager. They're supposed to know everybody, but it still looked fraudulent on your part that you didn't say nothing or like that you didn't know that she got hired. I feel like, I don't know, bruh. So they're talking. Then I did agree with Dennis when Dennis basically said that everybody views Porsha as a celebrity and no one clocks Porsha or tells Porsha about herself. He then brings up the whole situation with Simon, where Simon was like, he has a moving company to move women out when he's done with them. And I guess Dennis took it in the literal sense. I took it as Simon basically saying, like, just being cheeky and basically saying, like, when I'm done with somebody, all their stuff is gone. Like, I just push all their stuff out and they ain't got nothing else to do with me. This is what I do. So I felt like Dennis was putting 20 on 10 with that statement, but it is kind of fun. It's kind of weird for him to make that analogy, but I'm still gonna side with Simon when I feel like he was trying to be funny or trying to be like, show his dick size and be like, yo, when I'm done with a chick, she gone. I throw all her stuff out. I ain't got nothing else left for her. So yeah, I don't know why Dennis was sweating like a church, like they're saying, just sweating like a whore in church. Like, everybody else was hot and you could tell that they were sweating, but they weren't sweating as profusely as Dennis. So that makes me feel like something wrong. Like, Dennis might need to get his body together, because, like, you should not be sweating that much, bruh, because it was not called for. Then we have a scene with Porsha and Lauren. So Lauren is on the top of her, beside the pool in her room, and she's, trying to reach Shangri-La and meditating, and Porsha comes up there. They then start to have this conversation basically about Porsha not really being a participant when she asked for this type of situation. In all honesty, y'all, they did not have to go to Mexico for this to be a situation, in my opinion. If they were really like, let's blend our family, they could have stayed in Georgia and went to like the woods and did a retreat that way. Or like they could have stayed in Atlanta or they could have stayed in Georgia, because y'all know there are so many team building like retreat spots in every state that they did not need to go to Mexico. I honestly think that they put them in Mexico because they ain't want none of them to leave when I'm trying to edit. They didn't want them to leave because, like, when the kitchen got too hot. I really feel like that's why, because you can't just get on a flight and go home that quickly, So basically, Porsha is like, Dennis hasn't stated his intentions when he actually has stated his intentions. His intentions, like he said on the first night when they did the flashback, was to get to know Simon so they could build a co-parenting relationship. I just think Porsha is perturbed at the fact that he's only trying to build a relationship with Simon just to do the right thing and co-parent. And that does not mean he has to have a relationship with her. And I think that's the issue for Porsha, that she does not want a relationship with her. Like, he does not feel the need to further their relationship. And maybe Dennis wants to further the relationship, but he's just good at faking the funk and being like, I don't want you. Maybe he's just good at that. You can visibly see that Lauren was annoyed at this conversation, because she even told Porsha, like, do you hear yourself when you speak? Like, you need to listen to yourself. Because I think Porsha says things that she thinks is profound, and it's not. You just sound like a dumbass, to be honest. It's like, you're 40 years old and you're sitting up here talking about you don't feel the need to integrate Gina into your family. And I was like, that's dumb, because Gina is a grandmother. She is a direct correlation of Dennis. Just like you have Mama Elsa is the PJ's, aka Pillard's grandma, so is Gina. So she is a part of the family. And then for Porsha to be like, Mama Gina, she said, Mama Gina is not here to build a relationship with me or my family. She only cares about her son. Duh. The only people that Gina really needs to have a good relationship with is you, Mama Elsa, and possibly Lauren, because it seems like Lauren is always around. She doesn't have to get to know Darlene. She don't have to get to know Stormy. She don't need to know Londi or Dom or Lauren W. or Esther or any of those people. She just needs to have a good relationship with you and your immediate family. Your cousins don't matter. So I thought it was kind of stupid, and I feel like Porsha was just saying things just so she could paint herself as like some victim, when at the end of the day, she's not a victim. Like, you put yourself in these types of situations. And I liked how Lauren basically said, you always, like, you're pointing blame. So then when Porsha felt like she couldn't get like to where she needed to be, all of a sudden she started to like fake cry and cap an attitude with Lauren, because Lauren was like, you're the reason why we're here, and you're not trying to do this. And Porsha's was like, I haven't been given the tools. And Lauren is like, that's why we have yoga. That's why we have meditations. And Porsha was like, I don't think those tools are gonna work. And then she was like, you're supposed to guide me and teach me, teacher. And it was like, well, Porsha, the meditation and the yoga is Lauren's way of teaching and guiding you. You haven't taken the initiative or seen it as being anything worthwhile. And that's just what it is. And then all of a sudden Porsha starts crying. And like, at first I felt bad, because I didn't feel bad for her crying. But then she did something when they went ATV riding in her confessionals that made me feel like, okay, like, you're full of it. Because she started crying about how she wanted her family with Lauren's mom and her dad and Mama Elsa to blend, but her mom never crossed the threshold. So now she's trying to blend, like, she doesn't want Pilar to go through that. And it's like, at the end of the day, what happened to you when you were a kid doesn't matter in the context of what happens to your child that's presently here, that is 2 years old. Now, I'm not saying that the trauma and the abandonment and the grief that she felt when she was a child going through divorce is not a valid feeling, or not valid in the sense of that's what she went through. But you can't keep falling back to that to justify your actions now in the way in which you are moving in this situation. You met Simon, let you tell it 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden everybody else is just supposed to hop on board and just move at the pace that you moved at, and you're mad because it's not going the way you wanted. And my thing is, it just looks like Porsha doesn't want to do the work. Because that's the thing. It's too hard for Porsha to understand that things are not going to go as smooth as she thought it was. And she doesn't want to do the necessary work in order to blend her family the correct way. Pretty much. So then the next day, everybody is doing different things. You have Aunt Liz and Mama Gina doing a spa day. And they seem to have a good time at the spa day. They were talking about family, and Aunt Liz basically was like, how are you feeling? And Gina was like, I'm supposed to be a part of this family, but I don't know the family. But it really does look like Mama Gina and Liz are forming a real relationship. And I think that's cute. Then we see Porsha, Simon, Lauren, and Storm. Darlene, I guess Darlene and Miss Esther weren't included into any of this. They are going ATV riding. And then Dennis, Dom, Lauren W, and Londi are going to go take tequila shots. Out of all of that, meet me at the tequila bar, okay? I like me some tequila, okay? Okay? There's this one tequila that they sell at the ABC store where I'm from that's made in Mexico, and it's called like El Exotico or something. Stuff is fire. It is fire. It's liquid gold, y'all. It's delicious. So I would have been at the tequila spot eating salsa and chips and hitting back shots. So honestly, I think the most fun scene was the tequila thing. I thought it was fun. I liked it, but I'm gonna do it in order. So like I said, Aunt Liz and Mama Gina went to the spa day. They seem to have had a good time, a wonderful time. Then we see Stormy, Lauren, Porsha, and Simon doing ATV riding. And like I said to y'all, where I was like, I felt bad, but then when Porsha did this thing, like I felt bad that I didn't feel bad that she was about her crying, like I wasn't connecting. But then when Porsha did this, when she was like, in her confessional, Porsha's like, I love ATV riding. You know, my dad and my two other brothers, we would go ATV riding, but Lauren wasn't invited. It was just something for us. And she smirked. And the way that she smirked was like she got enjoyment knowing that her sister wasn't a part of this moment with her said siblings. And I thought that was messed up because I'm like, and I'm looking at the dad like, why didn't you invite Lauren? Was it really just something you did with them? But I feel like you can't do that when you have children. Like everyone should be included normally. Unless it's like, you know, you take like a daughter day and and it's just you and your mom together. Or you have these special moments, and then you can have special moments, but not when your family isn't blended together correctly. So I just looked at Porsha funny. It looked like they was having a good time. Storm was going slow because I know Storm looked like she was scared. Then, unfortunately, it looked like Porsha hit a rock because Porsha was going at least like between 37 to 40 miles. And if you've ever ridden a four-wheeler, and I have, like you think going like 20 and 30 miles would be like, it wouldn't be as fast, but it is extremely fast on those bikes. And like she ended up like breaking her nail because she had on very long, like I think she had on very long nails, and she cracked her nail and they showed like the blood. It made my skin crawl, and I felt bad because I was like, dang, because maybe I think she hit the rock and then maybe her finger like clipped something, because I'm still confused how she broke her nail that severely. But it seems like everybody had a good time. Now down to what we really want to talk about is the little tequila session. So they were having a good time. They taking shots. I like the tour guide. He was a lot of fun. And before they get to the tequila place, they're all on the bus, and Lauren W and Dom asked Dennis, are you done with Porsha? Like, you and Porsha are done? And Dennis was like, bro, we broke up 3 months ago. And this is what I'm saying. The timeline ain't timelining, y'all. To me, it seems like Porsha was messing around with Simon and Dennis at the same time. And Simon was somebody that was on the back burner. That was just there. You know how you just have you know your person that's like your backup. I really think Simon was a backup, and then once Dennis didn't follow through with bringing the ring back during Christmas, or you know trying to work the relationship out, then she pushed Dennis to the side and fell back onto Simon, in my opinion. Because it doesn't make sense that they broke up 3 months ago and then all of a sudden she got married. She's not married, but got engaged to Simon. So then they were making jokes about Dennis's look, you know, his work band, and they call her Thangin, because, you know, she got a nice big booty. The girl's in her 30s, or she's 30 years old. And they were having a good time. Then you got Porsha, you had Dom and Londi recreate the scene between Stormy and Darlene when Darlene caught the spirit and was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And I said, y'all ain't right, but that was funny. That was funny. So then while they're at the tequila place, they decide to play basically truth or dare. Just like, you know, if you don't want to answer the question, you take a shot. So Londi's first question was to Dom, who would you sleep with here that's a woman? And Dom gonna say Esther. Talking about Esther look like she down for a good time, but she could suck a watermelon through a straw. I said, you're nasty. You're nasty. That lady look like a good Christian woman. You're nasty. Just nasty. Then Dom asks Londi, is Porsha, like, why didn't Porsha take a shot? Why did she allow Simon to take her shot? And Londi was like, well, I thought she was pregnant, but I don't think she is pregnant. And then Lauren W was like, no, she's not pregnant. I seen her like pee on a stick. And I was like, oh, okay. So then Dennis was like, she pregnant. And he had a moment. Like, Dennis had a moment like, hold up. Then you have Dennis asking Londi, why does Porsha treat you so bad? And Londi basically was like, we're cousins, we're not friends. And he was like, and Londi basically was like, I don't kiss her ass, basically. I'm not one of her yes men. And she was like, Dom is a yes man, and Lauren W gets paid, so she has to be a yes man. So she was just basically like, I'm not like that. And Porsha does treat me differently, but I'm not like that. So then Dom's like, what's the real beef? Dom asks Dennis, what's the real beef between him and Storm? Dennis said he threw Storm her 21st birthday and her whole thing saying that, what's it called? That like she ain't never had nobody do a birthday for her isn't truth, because he did do her her 21st birthday. Then they were like, why did you fire her? And he basically was like, because she would come to work late, she talked to anybody any kind of way, and she was just very disrespectful. Then Dom said, well, Stormy said that you threatened her. And Dennis said, I've never threatened her. But he hesitated. So I was like, Dennis, you probably have. And then Dennis basically says, Storm has only started coming around for like he was like, I haven't really spoken to Storm in 5 years. And he was like, Londi was like, she would have broke that bitch in half when Storm like stood up, when she was like, what are you going to do about it? And then Lauren W was like, Porsha basically just brushes thing under the rug. And Lauren W was like, I do it, but not to the extent of what Porsha does. And then, Then Dennis was like, then Blondie asks Dennis, well, you fired me, because they started talking about the girl that Dennis supposedly cheated on being rehired. And that's when Dennis was like, I have over 600 employees and 11 crew establishments. I didn't even know the girl was rehired. And then Dennis lets the cat out of the bag and basically says, Porsha told me to fire you. So Porsha basically told Dennis to fire Londi so that Londi could be Porsha's assistant again, because Londi was basically like, Dennis started acting weird and started acting funny before the baby shower. And she basically asked, like, do I need to get another job because you're acting funny and you're cutting my hours, and I need to make sure I can take care of myself. And then he let her go. So Londi didn't know that Porsha is the reason why she got fired from Dennis. Then y'all, let's get to this dinner and the BS. So this stupid and chaotic and debacle of a dinner. So it opens up, they're going up the stairs, and I'm gonna be, because y'all know it was like the last 10 minutes. So before the whole fight situation and the physical altercation happened, you have Storm asking Porsha, like, Porsha, where are you gonna sit? Because she wants to be near Porsha. Like, Storm really looks up to Porsha, and in my sense, and we're gonna talk about in the drama, because I'm gonna do a separate video. Y'all know I normally put that information in the beginning of the video, but I got some tea for y'all. Well, not really tea. I'll just explain to y'all in the drama video, in the drama. But Porsha wants to sit beside, Storm wants to sit beside Porsha. So then they're sitting down. They're all talking about what they're going, like how their days was when they all were doing separate things, going to the spa, ATV riding, the tequila tour and all that stuff. Then Dom, I don't know what was up with Dom's energy, but Dom seemed like he was annoyed. Like he came in there with his glasses on, and I think maybe he just got, like, I don't know if it was liquid courage or he just got tired of Dennis trying to play him. Because to me, Dennis was kind of doing too much. Like, Dennis kept threatening to, like, throw hands with him. And I'm like, bro, you a grown man. And I really do feel like Dom will probably beat your ass. But, like, you doing a lot. So then they start talking about how they played Never Have I Ever. And I felt like it was messy for them to continue the conversation. Like, Porsha asks Londi, and then Londi says she don't want to be a part of it. And so then Porsha gets an attitude. Then Lauren keeps pressing the issue. And I'm like, Lauren, you can't tell me that Londi and Lauren W didn't tell you what they talked about or did at the tequila run because y'all share the same room. Like, you're doing too much. So they keep egging it on. And then Dom basically blurts out and says that Dennis felt like I was the op for telling on him. And then telling Lauren about him being at the club with another girl, blah, 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 while you were pregnant. And then Lauren says that, no, I told him not to tell Porsha because I said they're still working on their relationship and we don't know what he was doing for real, for real. So then all of a sudden, everyone's like, Dennis is like, let it go. And I could tell he was getting annoyed. Aunt Liz was getting annoyed because you could see Aunt Liz saying, children. And then you see Mama Gina was like, who cares? Like, it's old, it's dead, it's gone. Like, let's move on. So then Porsha says under her breath, like, oh, now you got Mama started. She putting herself into some business that don't even concern her. And then Dennis is trying to tell his mom to, like, chill. He's like, chill out, calm down, I got this. Then you got Lauren W being like, Dom, let it go. And then Aunt Liz even said that Dom likes to start a mess. So Dom got annoyed and was like rolling his eyes because I felt like Dom probably felt like, why is everybody ganging up on me? But I'm like, bro, you kind of started it because you brung it up. And then Lauren W was like, Dom, calm down. So then Porsha interjected and was like, if Dennis can speak, stop trying to shush Dom. So then Simon just sitting there looking confused and like smirking and all of that stuff. And that's the thing. Simon smirks when these chaotic situation happens. He looks dumbfounded, but then there's like a slight glimmer of like gleam in his eye. Like, ooh, this I'm into, you know, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. So then Dennis and Dom are going back and forth. Dennis is like, why don't you stay off why are you regulating my penis? And Dom basically said what was factual was like, if you didn't cheat, we wouldn't be here, which is true, bro. Like, Dennis, if you did not cheat, then we would not be here. So it is your fault. Okay, you shouldn't have cheated in the first place. You should have been man enough to be like, look, Porsha, we can have this baby, but I don't want to deal with you in that way. I want to be free and out here and run the streets and do what I do. But you didn't do that. You cheated on the lady while she was pregnant and before she got pregnant, sir. So then Mama Gina is steady like, this is too much. Like, why are we arguing about this? And then Mama Gina's like, see, this is why I don't want to be a part of this family. And then Aunt Liz was like, this ain't the real Hosea Williams family. Aunt Liz is over this whole situation. Aunt Liz is like, I did not sign up for this. You know, like, y'all are being disrespecting my daddy's legacy. And all the legacy that's in me, that I have done good work to be a freedom fighter for all these people, all these children at the table. Aunt Liz looked so perturbed and annoyed, and I felt bad for her. I really did. So then Simon says in his talking head that, like, Porsha is like, he doesn't believe Porsha has feelings for Dennis anymore, but he does feel like Porsha is resentful. And I can cop to that. I can see that. To me, I said it on Twitter, I think Porsha is just frustrated and mad that Dennis is not remorseful for what he did. And Porsha has main character syndrome where she feels like she's just this special being. And the fact that somebody that looked like Dennis played her and cheated on her and does not have remorse, nor does he care, bothers her. And it's the simple fact that he is not chasing after her in the manner that she thinks. So that is why she has him on this trip with Simon. And it's like, well, Dennis did one better and brought somebody with him. So it's like, I don't have to want you or chase after you when there's another girl up in the room by herself who I can call. Like, when I leave this place, I'm gonna go lay up on. So it's like, it's weird. Okay, this whole situation is weird. So then the table is just getting very chaotic. Like, everybody is arguing, everybody is like yelling at each other. And then Storm says underneath her breath, or like directed to her, she's like, because Mama Gina's like, can we just move on? Can we like just move on? And Storm says, your son is the one who is still talking. So then Dennis tells Storm, don't talk to my mama like that. Shut the up, bro. And then Porsha gets angry, starts yelling, security, security. Aunt Liz looks mortified that this girl is calling the security on Dennis at this dinner scene. And then she gets up and Dennis is like, whatever. And then you hear Lauren saying, we need to just start having separate dinners. So then as they're getting up to leave, because Dennis got up and Mama Gina was like, no, Dennis, sit down. And he's like, no, Mom, let's go. So he's like, she gets up like she's leaving. Porsha tells them, she says this to production, and I don't know if security was already there, where she's like, tell him to take he needs to leave with his sluts and his mama. And then you hear like Dennis like, I'm leaving, like I don't have to be here, because Porsha called security because she was mad at the fact that Dennis told Storm to shut the F up. But I'm like, Storm, stop interjecting. And they need to stop treating Storm like a child, because Storm is 23 or 24 years old. If she's going to keep interjecting into adult conversations like y'all keep saying, then that's the other thing. Dennis keeps calling her a child, but then her own mama says, no, she's a grown adult. So if she's a grown adult, then she does not need all of y'all to be rallying and behind her to protect her, in my opinion. Like, if she gonna talk, then she should be able to handle if another person is talking to her. Like, that's just what it is in my book. So again, Porsha says to security, he could take his sluts and his mama with him. Like, they got to go. Mind you, y'all, when they entered into the restaurant space in the VIP section, they had to walk up steps. So that the steps were the only way to get in and get out of the area. So production seemed to be all in that area, which I was like, that's a dangerous spot to be in, to have cameras and all of that stuff. Like, I would think something would break. So Porsha's over there. Then you see Mama Gina saying, don't yell. You don't have to yell at him. So then Mama Gina and Porsha are having a back and forth of words. And I think Porsha basically said, your son is a no good N-word. And then Mama Gina responded, was like, don't call my son that. So mind you, as she's walking down the steps, they're still like all arguing. Like, everyone's still I think Mama Gina was starting to walk down the steps, because Dennis is telling Porsha, I don't have to be here. The Storm interjects again, and she's like, and you're still here after 4 days. You're still here 4 days later. Like, you're still here 4 days later. Like, you saying you don't have to be here, but you're still here anyway. So he's like, shut up, Storm. Like, it's like, ooh. So then Simon is trying his best. And Simon's like, let it go. We'll deal with this another day, Dennis. Let it go. Okay? And you can tell Simon is uncomfortable with the situation happening, either because he just got his head down. I don't know if Simon felt like he was going to have to fight Dennis, or he was just embarrassed by the fact that this is how they are conducting themselves on the show. So then Aunt Liz yells, spiritual leader, you best be leading to Lauren. Ooh, Aunt Liz ain't right for that. You best be leading, spiritual leader. So then, and y'all, I watched the clip over and over. It looked like Mama Gina was walking down the steps. Porsha then turns and is saying something to Mama Gina. I don't know if she lunged at her or anything of that. I think that maybe Dennis thought she was about to lunge. So then he puts his arm over, and I don't know if he was trying to push his mom away or if he was trying to push Porsha's arm away. But then all of a sudden, Porsha get to swinging like she in the bad girls club fighting for her life, like they just threw her bed in the pool. Like, there was no need to do that. To me, Porsha is an agent of chaos, because there was no need for you to swing on that man that way. And had he come around and popped your ass in the face, I would be okay with that, because you were the one who got the swinging first. Like, legit, it didn't even look like he was trying to be aggressive when he was like putting his hand, like, because it really did look to me, unless we get a, what's it called, when they play the scene back next Sunday, unless they play the whole scene in its entirety, it legit looked like Dennis was either trying to push his mom down the step, because mind y'all, when all of this was happening, with all the commotion, the only way to get out of this said area of the restaurant, they had to go down the steps. It looked like Dennis was trying to push his mom down the steps, or he was trying to back Porsha off, or like push her away from his mom. So then Porsha got to like this, and I'm like, why did you do all of that? Like, to me, Porsha escalates situations all the time. She did that with Kenya. Mind you, I'm not on nobody's team twirl, because I thought Kenya was annoying as hell with that scepter, with the blowhorn. But I felt like when Porsha snatched that scepter out her hand the first time, that should have been it. Like, there should have been no more physical things. Production should have got in the middle and legit either put put Kenya on the opposite chair, or moved Porsha to the opposite chair, because they was doing too much. Then with the Cynthia thing, she straddled that. She tried to assert her dominance over Cynthia by straddling her while she was sitting on that boat. And then when Cynthia punted her in the vagina, all of a sudden she a victim. Then you had the situation with Jamie. You ran after Jamie. Jamie was leaving the party, and you look psychotic running down an alleyway, assaulting the lady. At this point, we all just need to come to the realization that when Porsha can't have things her way, she can't win the argument, or she can't control the narrative or the situation that she is in, she resorts to violence. And as somebody that's in their 40s, she need to grow it all the way the F up. Because at this point, you the problem. Nobody else is really. You the problem. You are. You, ma'am, please go get help. Go get help. Because to me, y'all, everybody was wrong in this situation. Dennis was wrong for being mad at Dom, because at the end of the day, like Dom said, bro, you shouldn't have slept with, like, you, if you didn't cheat, we wouldn't be here. He was wrong and like cussing Storm out, because I feel like at his big age, you should have better communication tools other than telling some little girl who's 24 to shut the F up. But I understand where he was coming from, but he was doing a lot. Porsha for just egging on the drama. Mama Gina for egging on the drama. Just to me, Porsha to me is an agent of chaos, because the situation was already hostile. Y'all could have had this argument. Y'all could have had this whole situation and there not be a physical altercation, but you took it there when you started throwing hands that way. And then it's just a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. But y'all. But yeah, y'all, remember to be bravely authentic. Drop down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. I don't care. Porsha's an agent of chaos. That's it. That's all. But remember to be bravely authentic. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.